Hi, my name's Laura Chipieski. I'm the Independent Living Administrator. I forgot what I was going to say for a second there.
Starts off with a bang.
It's probably because today we're talking to you about cable, and that is not my subject at all. I was just making jokes about it. So that's why I brought Mike here. Mike loves to talk about cable and internet and all of that good stuff. We know this has been a very frustrating time for everyone, and we understand that, and we appreciate your patience. The project that we had set off to do got changed by other parties than us many times. So every time we thought we knew what was happening, there was another email or meeting to tell us something else was happening. So we are trying to do our best at expediting things, but when Centrix and WOW are the ones that are doing all the talking together, we're kind of the middleman third party. So even though you live here at Alegria Village and we're running Alegria Village, we don't run WOW and we don't run Centrix. So sometimes you're just the customer and they don't want to deal with you as anything other than that. And that is kind of what's been happening for the most part. So as we give you information, it may change, and then obviously people get frustrated by that. We hoped it would not roll out like this, but here's where we're all at. We're all in this together. So Mike has graciously stated that he would come on and help out with this situation. We're going to try to be as very clear as possible. Again, for myself, I am not a very techie person, so if you are not a techie person, you are not alone. It's very frustrating when you are not, I understand. That's why we have Brandon and Ken out on the floor all day basically trying to help problem solve for everybody and going from apartment to apartment, which is why we have Mike and his team available by phone, because Brandon and Ken can't be out in the apartments and be answering the phone calls at the same time. So I'm going to ask some questions and Mike's going to give us some answers.
Yay, let's get this started.
What is happening with residents' WOW service?
So just to give you guys the backstory, WOW themselves are the ones that decided to leave Alegria Village. They want to not do any more cable service with anybody. So because of that, they partnered with Centrix, which Centrix is going to provide the basic cable for all residents that's going to be included with their rent.
So if I live here at Alegria Village and I have just basic cable, I didn't get any upgrades, any extra channels, didn't get a phone, didn't get anything else, what do I need to know?
Perfect. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What's going to be happening is a Centrix technician should be knocking on your door to kind of convert your WOW cable into Centrix cable. There has been times where residents were not home or the technician didn't get to that resident. It's okay. They're going to be coming throughout the month of August and September. And what they've decided to do is those that haven't been done, they're going to do it building by building. And then it'll be a set date. When Centrix gives us that information, we were definitely going to let residents know on which day and which building is going to be serviced. So that way all residents have cable.
Okay, perfect. We know that the first time round, we're not really sure how they came up with a schedule on what they were going to do, but they didn't really communicate. We didn't communicate, however you want to say it, with how it was going to happen. And once again, I think that is because the technicians from WOW and the technicians from Centrix, they're not the bosses.
Correct.
They're just the worker bees. So they just came here with a plan to work. And unfortunately, they weren't given the probably empowerment to make decisions or anything like that. So we unfortunately, they just came here. I don't think anybody really realized how much this was going to take. So as they're working together, they're probably forming some type of partnership. And obviously Ken is hearing all of your concerns and complaints and addressing that. So that's where that came from. So on the same note, if nobody's ever come to my apartment, should I call somebody? What should I do?
No, don't call anybody. There's a spreadsheet that knows exactly who's been serviced and who has not been serviced. So Centrix now, I think, is no longer in the building. They're going to try to figure out exactly what building they're going to do and then on what day. And then so that way they can be taken care of. And I just want to make sure that the residents understand that this is a basic cable that's being provided. It has about 85 or 86 channels, including the guide, like the TV guide, the channel guide. All the front desks have the channel list, so that way, if residents want to get that channel list, they can have it. We have no problem providing that to residents.
Okay. So tell me about this remote that they have.
So Centrix is providing what's called a large. It's a large white remote, and it has basic features. What the IT department has kind of identified early on is it's best for residents to use their own remote. That's for their TV, because that's going to be able to allow them to use their remote more advanced, like the channel up, channel down, volume, different types of inputs. It's easier for you to use your TV remote. But if you don't want to, you're also welcome to use the small remote that Centrix has. But it's going to be very limited on what you can do with that specific remote.
Okay. So we're going to switch from basic cable to Wi-Fi. So some people got WOW Wi-Fi, and just recently we've had a number of people tell us they didn't even know Allegria Village offered Wi-Fi.
Yes.
So there is both.
Yes, there is. The Wi-Fi is obviously, the more people that are on the Wi-Fi, the slower the Wi-Fi is. So those residents that have purchased internet through WOW or AT&T or any other provider, they have a faster service than someone that doesn't. But for any resident that wants to use the Allegria Village Wi-Fi, everyone's welcome to use it. And the Wi-Fi name is HFV. Where the hell is
Resident.
it? Resident. HFV Resident. HFV Resident is the username that you'll find the Wi-Fi name when you go to like your Wi-Fi, and then the password is the exact same. HFV Resident, all small case. And if residents have an issue with finding it or trying to connect, they're more than welcome to call me or Bill. We'll definitely help them in any way that we can to kind of help the IT department so that they're not, having to wait.
Okay, perfect. So if I had WOW, do I need to find another internet package, or can I just use?
You're more than welcome to use the Henry, the Wi-Fi that we provide for free. And what I've been telling residents, it's really based on their needs. How do they use the Wi-Fi? How do they use the streaming services? If you are used to it, then you might want to purchase it. Another thing that I've been telling residents is try our Wi-Fi. It's free. If it feels like, oh, it's slow, it's not working, I'm trying to open up this web page, or I'm streaming on Netflix and it gives me the buffering, then you know that maybe what you're using is just too small, not strong enough. So then you might want to go ahead and provide your own internet. But that way, at least you can try it for free, so it doesn't really hurt.
Has the IT team done anything to our current Wi-Fi?
Yes, they did. They were kind of working proactively to kind of increase the bandwidth, so that way our Wi-Fi is stronger and it can allow more users. Because it also took into consideration that some residents might say, rather than just right away go and try to find another provider and pay out of pocket, let me try what the free Wi-Fi would work. So they did do that, so that way, that's why we're letting residents know to go ahead and give it a try first.
Okay, sounds like a good plan. What if I live here and I have more questions than can be answered by this small chat that we're having today?
So what we decided to do is we're going to hold an informal meeting in the chapel for any resident that wants to come and kind of have like a question and answer type of ordeal. but we're only asking for those residents that have more than the basic cable in their apartment. So if you are paying for a landline phone, you're paying for extra services as far as the internet, then you can come down to the chapel and get some more information that's relative to you. If you just have the basic cable, you don't need to attend because we don't want to confuse you, because what we're going to be answering and what people are going to be asking is not relevant to you. That information is not going to be really relevant to you. So you don't have to do anything if you got basic cable. Everything will be taken care of for you, so you don't have to worry.
Okay. It seems like this is a big mess. What's the good news?
It is a big mess, and it's not something, again, that we, Allegra Village, wanted to do. This is something that we're just kind of picking up the pieces and trying to do the best we can. The good news with it is that, when you had WOW or any other provider, if you had an issue, you'd have to make a phone call. They have to set up an appointment. I know I've done that many times, and they always say, "Oh, we'll come, Friday between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m." But the problem is you have to sit there for that 4 hours and kind of wait for them to come. With my luck, I never get the early call. I'm always at the last, either 11:59 or I get the 1 o'clock p.m. I'm thinking, well, had I known, I would have done 17 other things and been at home. The good news is with us changing to Centrix is working with Ken and Brandon to kind of show them exactly how to do everything that they need to do. So that way now you don't have to wait for a technician from the outside. All the IT internal team will be providing the fix internally. So that's the good news, I hope. I hope. I hope. I think it is good
all
news.
hope.
Yeah, it's all depending on how you see it, But I see it as good news.
So one of the questions that a lot of residents are asking about is, are we stuck with just these channels?
That's a great question. So for right now, yes, but we are taking channels down from residents that want some more channels. And what we're going to do is once the switch over is made, we're going to try to sit down with Centrix to say these channels are the ones that our residents want. And it's a good majority. I can't say, oh, one resident wants this channel. So if we can get a list of those channels that residents want, maybe we can kind of go back to Centrix and say, add it to their basic channels. Now, we don't know if that's going to be successful, but we're definitely willing to try to provide the residents exactly what they need.
So one thing that we do want you to be aware of, actually a couple of things, is the people coming from WOW or from Centrix, they are just technicians. Again, they're the worker bees. They don't know about the letter that you sent. They can't answer about the letter that you sent, that you were sent. They can't tell you why things have happened the way they did. They weren't a part of the meetings, none of that. So unfortunately, sometimes when you're a person that's not used to being peppered with questions, you just spit out anything to get it to stop.
Yeah.
And we've noticed that this is happening a couple times with some of the Centrix technicians trying to answer WOW questions. We're not sure why they're trying to do it, but it would behoove you to not ask too many questions about the whys and everything else. Just let them get the work done so they can move on to the next apartment, because all the other stuff, how do we change the channels? But I want a phone. Do I need a phone? All of that. They can't answer all of that for you. So they're trying to be polite. They're trying to do the best that they can. But really, at the end, it's probably going to be a little more frustrating and confusing because that's just not their role. And if they answer, which we've had happen, as I mentioned, and it's a wrong answer, now our lovely rumor mill starts because somebody gave a wrong answer, and the wrong answers seem to get around 100 times faster than the right answers.
You wouldn't believe how fast it travels. It's very, very frustrating. But when it's coming from the Centrix technician, the residents think that that's the right information. But like you said, how could the Centrix technician answer a question about WOW? They're two different companies. Like the Centrix technician was saying, oh, Allegra Village canceled WOW because we're not paying our WOW service. So if that was the case, then why is Centrix going to be willing to take the cable. If we're not paying WOW, we're not going to pay Centrix. You know, so it doesn't really make sense. It has nothing to do with payments or any of that. This is what WOW wanted to do because they want to get out of the cable business, and they're going to, I think, to YouTube TV now. Is I think
Yeah.
who their provider is.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So not too long ago, I switched cable at my house because the lovely cable bill per rod was like $200 a month or something, because now it's just ridiculous. So we tried to switch to WOW, and when we called them out to our house, they were like, we don't do cable. So, so since summer of 2023, the only place getting cable has been Allegria Village from WOW. But they did offer us internet, and then they did partner with YouTube TV. I got the internet. I don't know how the internet worked here because it never worked at my house, so I had to go back to the expensive one. Like, I was kind of jealous when I got here, like, wait. So once again, I think one of the things that we're trying to do, and it's really kind of hard to explain to people that are not techie like myself, is the services out in the world today are night and day different than the services that were available 10 years ago even.
correct.
Technology changes so fast. You can't even call and say you want I'm building a house, I need a phone line in it. They don't exist anymore. There's no such thing as a landline. They don't run landlines. So that's been one of the hard parts. And another hard part is we are telling people to call maybe AT&T, and for whatever reason, it depended on which operator or whatever the service people were that you get from AT&T.
Correct.
They didn't even know that if they could service us. One said no, one said yes.
Yep.
Then we got 5 no's, then we got 3 yeses. So I think we got one person, we asked for a name, and that's what we're gonna try to work with now. But I think they made a note in their system too. Why did they not know if they serviced us? I don't know, I don't work for AT&T.
Well, I think it was the word landline. So they don't do landline phones, but they do provide phones. It's just through the internet. So you have to have the internet package to get a landline phone. But if you call AT&T now and you say I want a landline phone, they're going to say we don't service landline phones. Everyone has a cell phone now. They do. You just have to buy the package of the internet to get the phone. So, but you're right. It's you call 5 different AT&T people and you get 5 different answers, which was the very frustrating part. But we have to be very specific with the wording of what we want them to provide us.
So if I'm a resident and I'm watching and I have a question, should I wait until that meeting, or should I be proactive and email you a question so you can have it?
You can definitely be proactive. There's nothing wrong with being proactive on whatever your needs are, because every resident is going to have specific needs for them. Maybe they have extra services that now they realize, you know what, I don't want this service because Allegria Village is offering the service. So I don't know exactly how to answer it now. I would have to have that resident come see me to kind of figure out what's in their best interest.
Okay. So we wanted to be able to have the date for the meeting for you today. However, we have to check with all the activities that happen in the world and everything else that's happening, plus the people that have to run the meeting. So that's going to be Ken and Brandon, and Mike will probably be there. I'll just be sitting there listening because I have nothing that I can add to this except for on and off. That's all I do. That's it. So unfortunately, that is just not my area of expertise. So I'm grateful that we have our IT team and Mike and his team to help explain all this frustrating information to you.
And let me just say, if in the event residents that do want to attend whatever the date is and time is and can't attend, what we could do also is we'll tape it, and when we tape it, we can also broadcast it. So that way, if you're not there, hopefully you can watch it. And I hope that whatever question you may have had, someone in the audience have asked it so that you can get the answer that you're looking for. So we'll do the best we can to get it out to all the residents, whether you're there or not there. Another thing you can do is, if you know you can't make it, you can always ask a question to a friend of yours that maybe is coming, and then at least you can hear it on
Or
the,
email us.
Or
in
you can email
advance.
me, absolutely, absolutely.
And from that meeting, when we get questions and answers, we're gonna put together a list of question and answers, because somebody in that room, because it's probably gonna be in the chapel, is gonna say, somebody asked a question, but I didn't hear the answer and I didn't hear the question. And then they're mad at their friend because their friend was talking about something else during that time, because this is what happens in our lives. Nothing ever easy. So we'll have a list of questions and answers that we'll distribute
Yeah.
to our entire team, and that way they'll know the questions. So it might be like 20 questions. We can probably put it on Odyssey too,
Yep,
so you
absolutely.
can read through Odyssey. I know a lot of you don't use Odyssey. We can put it on the billboards. Obviously, we'll try to attempt to communicate in every way possible. Again, the best way is to really attend the meeting or set up an appointment with Bill or Mike. Mike's getting ready to go on vacation, though.
I am. I definitely am. It'd be-
Everybody call him before he leaves.
Hey, I was gonna give wrong dates, but I can't do that now. No, I am gonna be leaving on vacation just for a week. It'll be August 31st, and I'll come back September 8th, just Monday to Monday. But hopefully, I'll have your answers, all your questions answered by then. And if not, Bill can, and if he can't, I'm sure Laura can as well. No,
He's more confident in my IT skills than I am.
we'll definitely take care of those residents that need it. Don't worry. But I don't know exactly when the chapel thing is going to happen. Do you think it'll happen
I'm
before?
hoping next week.
Oh wow, you're really diligent. I like this. All right, then hopefully that would work, and then I'm here. That'd be perfect.
Okay. Do you have anything else to share with everybody?
Nope. I do not.
Okay, well, I hope this cleared up some of the confusion and frustration for somebody out there, and I will get you the information for the meeting that we're going to have. We will put it on Odyssey. We will put it out on the bulletin boards. We will tell the friendly neighbors,
Absolutely.
the resident council. I was going to skyrate it maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Then we'll be able to see.
We'll get it out to everybody. So look for the concept of that. Kim Murphy will know it. So a lot of you call her daily. When you call her, she'll know the answer to the date of the meeting. Mike will know the answer.
Michaeline, we can also.
Yeah, Michaeline will know, and she can tell everybody.
Yeah, we have Michaeline as part of the resident council meeting we had. She'll be partnering up with me as well, and I'll be able to share that information with her, and she's willing to help distribute the information, the right information, so that way it gets to the information is there, and it's not the rumor.
And
mill.
she's good at tech.
Yeah,
she talks circles around me.
Yeah, she spoke with AT&T and several other for like hours, so she's got the lay of the land, to be perfectly honest with you. And she's very
hired.
confident. Yeah, she's very confident with it.
We
so that's
appreciate
awesome. Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, that's all we have for today. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye-bye, thanks.